Purab presents himself as a victim, a man whose fiancée vanished on their wedding day, but in reality, he is a practitioner of dark tantra, an occult system he uses to stalk and consume those around him. He treats marriage as a harvest. 5 times now he has targeted isolated women and murdered them on their wedding night, systematically collecting their life force to fuel his own magical power. Puravi was his most recent victim. Now he has moved on to Megha, Puravi's former roommate. He has already isolated her at a remote mountain house, bringing her to the exact location he selected for his 6th ritual. As the sun sets, Purab begins the familiar ceremony. He dons his black robes, paints his face with ash, and prepares the sacrificial fire, expecting the same surge of power he has felt 5 times before. But the morning brings a different result. Purab is awake, but he is a prisoner in his own body. He lies on the bed, paralyzed and unable to scream, while a suffocating shadow hangs over his face. He is now at the mercy of a Bakshini, a dark entity that feeds on the blood of the men she seduces. Purab was an expert in the occult, yet he has been stripped of his voice and his freedom in a single night. This defeat suggests a plan that accounted for every one of Purab's defenses, turning his own lethal methodology against him. Nishta, Purvi's sister, was there the night of the murder. From the shadows, she watched Purab in his demonic form as he consumed Purvi's blood. Nishta knew that traditional justice would never reach a man who uses magic to erase all physical evidence. To stop him, she would have to use a different set of rules. She began by using Megha as bait. Nishta carefully steered the roommate toward Purab, knowing he wouldn't be able to resist the opportunity for another sacrifice. Nishta kept Megha entirely unaware of the danger. She gambled on the fact that Purab's obsession with his ritualistic cycle would make him overconfident and blind to a setup. Purab's survival depends on this specific sequence. He must groom, marry, and then sacrifice a victim to maintain his power. Because he saw Megha only as a necessary source of energy to complete this loop, he ignored the risks of pursuing her. Nishta didn't have to push Purab into the trap. She simply set the stage and let his hunger for the next sacrifice pull him through the door. While Purab focused on Megha, Nishta spent 11 days in a graveyard performing a forbidden ritual. She stood on one leg among the dead, offering her own blood to summon the Bakshini. Purab steals energy from unwilling victims, granting only temporary strength. Nishta uses self-sacrifice, creating a binding contract. In dark tantra, a voluntary soul offering creates a magical pressure that easily overwrites a spell fueled by an unwilling victim. On the wedding night, the moment Purab tried to claim Megha's life, Nishta's contract took control of the room. The Bakshini hijacked the ritual. She bypassed Purab's defenses by appearing as a beautiful woman, seducing him, and then permanently severing his connection to his occult powers. Purab relied on stolen life force to remain powerful. That power failed him the moment he encountered an enemy who was willing to give her own life away to destroy him. Nishta eventually enters the room to face the paralyzed Purab, explaining exactly how she dismantled his life. She chooses not to kill him. Instead, she coats his body in honey to attract insects and leaves him there. The Bakshini will continue to feed on his blood, keeping him alive just long enough to ensure his torment never ends. To make the contract permanent, Nishta gives the entity one final command: to consume her entirely. Her body withers into a dry husk as her life force is drained to seal Purab's fate. Nishta dies on the floor of that room. Her body is a lifeless shell, but her mission is complete. Purab remains pinned to the bed, with no way to break the cycle. Destroying a monster that hides in the shadows requires more than just a plan. It requires the willingness to step into the darkness and stay there forever.